Hello everyone, it is Christine here and I'm back for our stitch along. It is our second last episode. Can you believe it? We are going to be doing a woven stitch and I have stitched that out using a beautiful variegated green, and then I've drawn myself a little foundation, a little basket where I'm going to do the woven stitch, a little tree trunk. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do is add this little bit of a doily to make a little topiary here, and I think it's going to be lovely on this fabric, which quite significantly says time won't wait. So we are almost finished. It's even got a little tick down here, so I thought that was a bit of fun. I got this in a recent order from the Sewing Lair. So I'm going to pop out at the bottom, and we're just going to put some long stitches in to be our foundation stitches. So I'll put one from top to bottom there. I'm using this brown variegated yarn that I tend to use a little bit lately. I like it. It's a nice thick one, so it gets the job done pretty quickly. And then I'll just jump across a little bit and put another one in because I want my basket to be have sloping sides, but I need the stitches to be going straight up and down. So I'll just lay that so I get it straight. So sometimes I use the thread to help me guide my eye where I need to put the needle in. And then I'll pop along a bit further, and I'll probably only need one more stitch at this end to form that little foundation. And then I'll come across and keep laying the stitches down. In the book they go just in one direction with the stitches, so you're wasting a fair bit of thread on the back. I don't think you actually have to do that. I think you can pop up just next to where you did your last stitch, and I think it's actually less likely to pull on your fabric. If you have a lot of stitches laying at the back, it can sometimes cause your fabric to pull a bit, so I prefer to do it this way. So I hope you're having a great day. Big thank you to everyone who has followed along with this stitch along, whether for the whole journey or joined for parts of, or just watched or commented or encouraged or joined our little community chats, popped into our Facebook group, whatever it was. Yeah, thank you so much for being part of the journey. It has been fun, and it's been great for me because it's made me actually use that book that I got, secondhand book, make use of it, and it has taught me stitches, but most importantly it's just introduced me to the most wonderful bunch of people. That's been the real bonus. That's been what's really kept me going. And then I'll bring one up about there, lay one up there, and maybe one more down here. Okay, and then we're going to pop up, and I'll just pop up I think at this end over here, separate to where my threads are, and then we're just going to start weaving. So I'm using a tapestry needle which isn't particularly pointy on the end, which will allow me to just weave my way over, under, and then to pull the thread through, and then to anchor it down on over the last stitch because that's an over. And then I will pop up and at the next point below, and we'll continue the process. So this time I'm going to go under that first little stitch, which will be a bit trickier, and then over, under, doing it with my left hand. So that's interesting that I'm even able to do that. I'm not very good with my left hand normally, which I guess I could always keep coming up over at the right, but again I'm just conserving thread. So then I'm going to take it over and to the back after the second run, and then I'm going to pop out, and again we'll be going the opposite that we did last time. So under, over, under, over, under, over, under. We'll take it down at that point. It suddenly got all sunny, so I had to close the curtains. It got very warm. made myself a celebratory water and lime and ice, although the ice has melted already. Because I'll be filming the final episode after this one, I think. So now we're going to go over, under, over. So I'm just weaving. I really do enjoy weaving. It's nice. It's very relaxing. So you could do a little Christmas tree basket like this, would work quite effectively as well. Make a nice little card this as well. Might have to make some. I'd like to do some more stitch cards to have on hand, because sometimes when it's then a celebration or something, you just don't have time to stitch something together. So it'd be nice to have some nice cards. Okay, and then under, over, under, over, under, over. I'm getting a bit of the darker colour, which is nice, and then I'll take that to the back there, and then pop out at the next point down, and we'll go over, under. You'll quickly be able to tell if you do a dodgy one. And it's very easy to fix. And so we've got to go under, over, under, over, under, over. And can I get a final under there? Possibly, yes. Okay, and then the next point along. And then we're going to go under, over, under, over, under, and over. And then pop up, probably for our last row, I think. Because it starts to get quite tight down the bottom. I can feel like I'm trying to go through a knot or something there, so I'll just move my needle. And then we'll go under. Yeah, it is very tight now. Going to be a bit of a struggle to get through. I don't want to go through the fabric. I do want to just stay under my threads. Under, over, under, over, under, over. There we go. And final stitch into the back there. Perfect. So that's lovely. Got that graduating little colour to the basket. Now I'll keep my thread threaded, and I will come up to the tree trunk. Topiary trunk, and I might just do a split stitch. I think it does create a nice trunky sort of effect. I'll even just take that down to there and then come up. Okay, then I'll end that off there. So you can see with my basket, apart from where I came up to create the trunk, I haven't wasted any thread on the back of the fabric by just popping out next to where it was, which actually creates quite a neat back as well. So it's a bonus on that level also. So sometimes you can disobey the books, you can try things for yourself and work out, because if I had have done all the stitches at the back, it could be pulling quite a bit at the front. So let's get our little, so it's got that little taily bit on the back of it. I'll just snip that little taily bit off. And then I think we'll stitch that about like that. So I'll grab out some natural coloured thread. I've got some natural colours like this one, I think. Yep, that'll do well. And we'll thread up a regular needle. And I'll just anchor this down just with some cotton, and then I'm thinking I might put some French knots in to make some little blooms on our topiary. I think that could be quite sweet. Or we could use some beads. That could also be cool. I'd have to pop up and grab my beads, but they are in a drawer, they are sorted. A place for everything, and everything has its place. That's going to be my little motto as I proceed to fully sort and arrange my craft room. I've also read that you should always stop your work, well, not read, sorry, I've been watching YouTube videos on organising. You should always stop your work 10 minutes sort of before you need to finish it, and then tidy up your workspace. I am so bad, I'm notoriously bad for not doing that, so I think that's a practice I should start, because my workspace was totally clear at the start of the day, but through the process of doing a few of these videos, there's a lot sitting. There is silk ribbon, there is wool, there is thread, there is fabrics all sitting on my work area, so I do definitely need to get better at that. And because this is also my home office as well, I've got my work desk in the other corner. Yeah, I do need to keep it sort of tidy so that I can concentrate not just on my crafting, but on my working too. Because I think we do all concentrate better when we're not sitting in a bit of chaos. Okay, so I think that's stitched down enough. Tie that off here. My goodness, it's getting warm up here. I suppose it is third day of summer. Although with the rain we'd been having, it definitely wasn't. I'm just going to have a sip of my nice limey drink. Okay, and then what do we think? Maybe, oh no, I think I'll use some wool. Seeing the wool is on the desk, let's use the wool. Have I got a piece that's loose? Thought I did, but don't know where it's gone. Okay. Is that going to go okay, or do I need a more pinky colour? Pinky purpley, or will I even use one of my wools from, I think I will. I'm going to grab out some of my threads from Carlund Yarns. Haven't even cracked into these ones, but I'm thinking this pink would be totally delicious as little flowers. Feels like a very beautifully fine wool. Is what it feels like. Thread, just thinking what needle's going to fit that. Need a needle with a decent eye on it, I think. Yep. Sometimes with the wools, this technique of putting the knots in the end doesn't always work, but worked that time. And so I'll just pop through, I think, and put some little French knotty knots. I'll do a few wraps to get some nice little sized knots. Oh, beautiful. I like that. How many wraps did I do? Was it 4? I think it was 4. Unless it was 5. I think 4 is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you haven't done French knots before, there is a video for French knots under the letter F, I think, unless it was under knots, but I think it was under F. They're still my favourite knot to do. Some of the other ones we did were a bit fiddly, so whereas the French knots I come back to time and time again. getting a knot where I don't want a knot, so we'll just detangle ourselves before we pull through, and I might just need to redo my French knot once I've detangled myself. We do definitely have a tangle going on. So we'll just twist it around. It's going to come out okay, I think. Hopefully. Wouldn't be a Christine video without a tangle or a de-threading or all of the above. Okay, what's happening here? Okay, we have ended up with a little knot in our thread, so I am just going to cut it loose and work out where. So I've still got my needle attached at the other end. Okay, so that one's will save as a second bit of thread, and we'll just keep working with this piece here. And we will do our next French knot. 2, 3, 4. Okay. I suppose I can go all the way around and do them, or do I leave the lower half? I might just do them there because I don't want it to look totally symmetrical, and I might just put one in the very centre. Put one in there. Yeah, no, maybe I will. I'll continue round. Now that I've put one in the centre, I think it does actually need to be symmetrical. The nice thing about French knots is if you let them stay a bit looser as you pull them through, you get ones that are a bit bigger or a bit smaller if you keep them a bit tighter, so you can get a bit of variation even when you're doing them like this. Hopefully I've got enough thread here to just finish this last one off. I just don't want to unthread my needle. 1, 2, 3 wraps, and let's see if we can get a 4th wrap on without unthreading the needle. There we go. So I'll just pass that through at the back and tie that off like that. And that is our sweet little woven topiary tree. So I do like that idea. I think I might have to add one of those to my Roxy Journal of Stitchery treasure hunt piece as well. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for our lucky letter Z. Bye everyone, take care.